My dude,
What up, dude? How you doing?
how you doing? Checking out some tunes here from our guest. It's pretty cool
Pretty,
stuff, man.
yeah.
How did you come across her?
I do not know. Actually, she was already. We were already following her on our page. So I
Oh,
don't know if you
cool.
guys added her or she started following us. But I saw that she had really cool posts and really cool music, so I said, why not?
Yeah, dude. Kind of like ambient kind of stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into it, man. It's like a whole. It's like a whole mood, you know. It's a whole experience.
Yeah, it's almost organic sounding, I guess you could say. Because it
In a
almost
bit
feels
of a
like
trance.
nature.
Yeah. I'm kind of bummed out. You know, I haven't had much of a chance to set up my new uh, my new digs here. You know,
Yeah.
um, but I got some plans. Let's just say I got some plans. Um, some fun plans for this new workspace.
It's cool.
Uh,
What type of plans are we talking about?
I want to do some stuff with some lighting. You know, um, I don't know. You know, I think there's something to be said about like there's like those LED lights now that you can just change the color on them, you know? I think that'd be.
I actually, yeah, I actually have those in my restroom.
Did you say your restroom?
My restroom.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's like a strip. It's a strip of light. It's actually pretty long. So I line them up against the walls and in the ceiling. So when you're taking a shower, man, it looks like all like you can turn it into like purple, green, blue. It'll keep moving to different colors. It'll flash.
Dude, can you send me a link to that? Or just,
Yeah, I found them pretty cheap in LA actually too, man.
oh man,
We went to a specialty store that sold them for I want to say $7.
no way.
And I didn't think they were anything special because they were that price. I was like, no way can they be that strong. They're pretty powerful. And you line them up, it's just tape basically. It's tape with lights on it, but the tape is super strong. And I just lined it up against the walls. But yeah, man, I'll send you a link. I should have bought more. I only bought one box.
Oh wow. Well, hey man, we learn something new every day, and I just learned something from you. I can get quality fun lights for on the cheap down
Yeah,
here in beautiful LA. Zeke, how you been, man?
I've been all right.
Yeah, you
Working.
overworked like seems like everybody's just overworked.
Yeah,
What's the deal with that?
I don't know.
It's
I don't know.
crazy. I feel like I don't have time to do anything anymore. And
Yeah,
then my
yeah.
brain's just scrambled eggs by the end of the day, you know?
Because now on my days off, I'm trying to recover from the week.
I feel you, man. This is what the 20s is going to be like. Just oh wow. Jeff is doing double duty tonight. How is
Is he?
everyone? Yeah, he's doing double duty. This guy knows what we're talking about. Jeff, we see you, man. Always good to see you. Always good to see you.
All right. Man, I wish I could pronounce her name. It's Desideria.
Uh, is it Desideria?
There we go.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Good.
I'm a little bit like whimsical, like because it's so early.
Yeah, I was curious. What time is it over there?
Oh, it's 5:30 in
Oh,
the morning.
oh wow.
Yeah, it's very early.
Well, thanks for coming on the show. Jeez.
It's
Wow,
my
5:30.
yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, it's fun to be up at an hour where I'm really not usually up. Um, I'm like usually go to bed very late, but this is a little later even than what I usually go to bed, so, and a lot earlier than when I usually go up.
Wow. So do you have like a full day ahead of you, or do you have
I do, but it's a nice like I have this like major feeling of ease after I released my album, or it's an EP. But it's just been this kind of hectic period leading up to releasing that. So now I have this like, so I feel like nothing can really um, compete with my sense of calm at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, I mean, I've been listening to your music, and I mean, I am a fan. I really love it. And
Great.
I'll just say right off the bat for everybody that's tuning in right now. First of all, welcome everybody. This is Hanging with the Friends. We have officially started, and we have our guest. And please let me know if I'm pronouncing this wrong. Is it Desideria?
It's perfect.
Okay, good.
Yes.
We're here with
Good job.
Desideria, and you're located in Sweden, right?
Yeah, almost. Where I am located in Sweden, but I'm located on an island outside of Sweden called Gotland, which Gotlandic people don't consider it Sweden, but it is
Ah,
technically Sweden.
yeah.
I mean, it is Sweden, but it's quite different. Yeah, but yes,
So
this is.
what are some of the differences, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh no, I can tell you, it's amazing. There's many differences, but one is like the nature is completely different. There's a completely other climate for animals and insects and things.
Oh
Because
wow.
you connected to a part of Italy before the like world broke into pieces. So there's a different heritage like from the nature of Gotland compared to in the rest of Sweden. And then I think because of like the island thing influences people in a certain way.
Yeah.
There's also, I mean, Gotland in Sweden is known for many things, but there are a lot of like artists and things that, like are drawn to Gotland because it's very special kind of um yeah, it's beautiful and
It's very unique.
yeah, it has all these
Yeah.
different like heritage things from different times and cultures as well, because it used to be the trading center in the Viking age and after
Oh,
as well. Yeah, so there's all
wow.
these different heritage built from different kind of times and traditions, influences, and
Different
different.
cultures that like merge, right?
Oh,
'Cause they
hey,
were all
yeah,
there. Yeah. Hi. Sorry. Yeah.
see, a new one. Yes,
Hey,
there's
Ruben.
different cultures that
Hey
merge.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you find all of these like different Roman,
All the influences from
also,
everything, right? Yeah.
yeah, more than in the rest of the whole Scandinavia is found on Gotland from the Roman culture. So there's some Gotlandic people that think that we are even like the heritage of what then became the Gothic uh, heritage, because there was some scripture they found in Poland, which is just right beneath Gotland, where it says that the original in the first Gothic language is that um, the original island that they came from was shaped like a lemon. And
Oh,
Gotland is, and then also Guthnic, the language of Gotland has some similarity with the language of Gothic. So there's all of this, but this is not exactly something a lot of people are interested in. But
I think it's interesting. That's pretty
yeah.
cool.
Sounds
Yeah.
really interesting. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very interesting. It's just scientists haven't quite been as interested yet.
You may not realize that, but you're in a a chat right now with a bunch of nerds. So
Yeah, no, I
it
have
definitely
it.
interests
Like, I
us.
checked out your channel. I love your book reviews.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, I love the nerdiness.
Yeah, it is pretty nerdy.
Great.
Zeke is a bit of a he's the scientist of the group, you know.
He's the
Oh,
poet and a scientist, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is Zeke? Is it?
Oh, he's
Ah,
I'm the one with the sunglasses.
Right. He's the one with the
of
sunglasses.
course.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I noticed the pictures you take for promotion and everything, they're right next to like cliffs or the sea, right? So it's very beautiful. It seems like like almost the ocean influences your music, right? Because it almost sounds
very,
like nature, very organic.
Yeah.
yeah, very much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the oceans are important for me. Yeah.
Oh.
Sister.
Right when you came on, Zeke and I were just talking about your music and how it felt. You know, it's very much like an experience. You know, it's very you feel like you're in a place, and it's you don't come across that very often, and it's just really very unique and really amazing. I just want to say right off the bat, I mean your EP and your music, it's just a great listen. For anybody that's tuning in right now, we are joined with Desideria. She is from
Gotland, Sweden.
exactly, and she just came out with a new EP, and it's very amazing. Please check it out. But I want to know more about kind of the process, because you just mentioned that it was quite a process for you to make this album. So I would love to know more about kind of how it all came together, maybe the inspiration behind it, and sort of the process that you had to go through to make it happen.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, there's so many parts of that process. But yeah, thank you. But just to start for those, like, that's what feels very meaningful to hear, because that's exactly kind of what I think I'm wanting to do. Like, I want to take the list, and I want to create like a parallel space almost, like, or take a listener on this kind of journey, and like start from one place and then end at another. And yes, I'm often trying to leave like the formal song structure or anything like that. Just so that's so cool that that comes across.
Yeah.
There's something that I find very interesting is that, you're from the future. You're living in tomorrow, literally right now. Like, it's
Because it is
5:30
Friday.
in the morning.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
5:30 in the morning. Like,
Oh yeah, that's true. Coming to you.
you're in the future. That's insane. We're all about the future. So hey, this is perfect.
It's awesome. I love it. Oh my gosh. I love that merging as well. It's also something I think reoccurs, because I'm also very interested in like the future, and also like sonically what the future could sound like. Or I'm also I think maybe in the future that there will be way different formats of listening to music, like moving into a virtual space, or
Right.
yeah. I was studying actually last year. I left the island to study in Stockholm, because there was one education that they were doing it for the last time. So
Well,
I
at
was
least it was for a noble cause, right? To study, to learn.
yeah, and it gave
right?
me so much, honestly. Like, it gave me so much perspective, so it was great. But it's I was studying this like interactive sound design, like how they do it. Like, a lot of musicians don't think about it now, but I think it's going to be more common later, because they're using that technology in game design already, like where they have these kind of programs that are middlewares between the game engines now, but they could be for anything really. And you feed in just a couple of like web files, and then they have all these different algorithms which you can program in like countless different ways for the sound material to act different ways. So it's like pretty much as close as you can get to AI today. And
It was good.
it's
I
like,
was gonna say that's how Terminator started.
yeah. And it's so cool because like the computer actually becomes more like a collaborative partner as well. Like I could
Yeah.
get a material which I wouldn't have written necessarily myself, and then having that also connect with nature and like, because I think nature also kind of works like that.
It does. It adapts and it kind of, grows and learns and lives, and it's beautiful. A while back, I remember
Yeah.
I remember seeing this piano that it's played by like an AI that learns. So you'll hear it practicing like all the time, and it's getting progressively better. I was like, what the heck is going on here?
That's
Like,
crazy, man.
like is Arnold Schwarzenegger gonna come in and like shoot me? Like, what's going on?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I wonder
think
how
it-
possibly that actual reality would be, that it could be so randomized that, I mean, they did release some kind of game like that where it's like you're co-creating the game as you go along, and then
Mm.
it opens up for all these like insanely mind-blowing things that can happen. I don't know what the game is called, because someone from that education was like telling me, someone was like only 4 people in the whole class because nobody even.
I think that game's called Fortnite. I think it's called Fortnite.
Is it Fortnite? No, I don't think. Maybe.
I'm joking. I'm totally joking. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm actually like I'm not a gamer. Like
I'm not a gamer either.
We
no.
aren't either.
No.
All right. We're studying with all of these gamers, and I was feeling like, the like undercover, like.
Yeah. Because you're not a part of that culture, like, of gaming. Like, it's some people are really into it. I'm not, unfortunately,
Love
but
to be, but I think it would consume. I would go so deep into it that I wouldn't be doing all of this other stuff. So I'm kind of choosing to be.
right. There's
Yeah.
only so many hours in the day, right?
Yeah. I feel like it's a true rabbit hole. Like,
It's interesting what you're saying about kind of music merging with different things. You've mentioned music merging with nature and music merging with AI, and I mean, before like 5 minutes ago, I had never really thought of that. But I mean, the interesting thing is with that sort of philosophy is kind of music as an industry and music as an art form. Well, music as an industry right now sort of needs somewhere it needs to go next, right? And music as an art form, I think, is the opposite, is expanding, and it's sort of redefining itself more and more often nowadays. And the great thing about the internet, especially, is it kind of has debased kind of what used to be, sort of the gatekeepers and the filters kind of put into place to make sure that only certain kinds of music were popular at certain times and all that. So I just want to say, I mean, it's really interesting, something you brought up about kind of music as an art form sort of merging with these different things. And I think it'd be interesting to see kind of how that plays into, music as an industry, because I think music as an industry really severely needs to find its next place to go, but also music as an art form, which I think kind of goes all the way back to, how I feel about your EP. And I can totally see that philosophy in the music that you've made, is it's you're not limiting yourself to just a
genre, right?
Genre, or like instruments that are based around that genre. Listening to your music specifically, I really feel like it definitely feels very natural and very much kind of a part of something much bigger, right, than just your typical tunes, I guess. So I just wanted to say that.
Wow, thank you. So glad that it comes across that way. Because I do. Like I'm a huge nerd as well. I spend all my time trying
That's awesome.
to create the different parallel experiences. So I'm just glad that they're like whack wacky nerdy people out there that wants to hear it and that see that and that wants to experience it. So that's fucking cool.
Yeah, it is. Thank you for creating, you know what I mean, for putting yourself out there, for allowing that vulnerability to, you know, to go into the universe and to connect with people across the world, you know. That's super awesome.
Yeah. Wow, thanks.
So
Is oh, go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead, Ruben.
I was just gonna say, so is that like, I don't want to say typical, but is there like a different mentality when it comes to writing music? Or your cohorts kind of in the same, you know, like, are they trying to reconnect with nature but with AI and also express their art in that way? Or are you unique in that way? That's a very self-aware question. I'm sorry.
What was
Yeah, it's kind
the
of weird.
last thing? Do you mean about the process, like, or which,
No, I mean like peers, like other musicians that you may have locally where you are. Is that something that's like a mutual feeling with other people, or do you feel like you don't see that a lot?
Someone else that's trying to do this. Myself, I'm sure there are some people. I haven't met anyone else that's doing exactly that. No. Like I haven't. I've only met 3 other people who were interested in interactive sound design that were on my course, and they were because of the gaming industry. So I think a lot of the time when people have an interest, it's because there is some kind of capitalistic agenda pushing it as well.
Some
like,
kind of monetary gain, right? Of course.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately what if you think of the industry as on a larger scale, like that is what will change, what the next format will be, is what product it will be launched to. But I'm interested to look like a bit beyond that, and it's more. I think. I mean, I've been kind of exploring and doing some more like sonic art projects as well, where I've done here, where I put out like music in surround sound, just like 5.1 and in the cinema here, and just to kind of like, kind of like you were saying, I'm interested in creating like a whole other room,
a whole soundscape, right? Yeah,
and a sonic experience. And I think that's even like ritual. I think that's a kind of modern way of being spiritual as well.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, it's cool. I come from also like a lot of I've grown up and I'm also I've always been very like in different kinds of like spiritual, like nature worship.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I think that also maybe influenced the way I think of music. I don't know if it will be a thing of the future, but I'm sure there are many people who had, because usually when something happens, somehow, like, I feel like it's always like this collective radio on about the things that people are interested in. And like, if you well
that's called the
radio.
That's called the Akashic.
Record. Yeah.
Yes, the Akashic record. And you know, it's funny, like a lot of times when I've written songs, like music pieces, you hear people all the time, they say you don't feel like you're really writing it, you feel like you're just tapping into something and you're just communicating it, you're just bringing it into the you know, the ethos, into the universe, but it wasn't really yours, you're just kind of interpreting it, you know. I feel that way with music.
Interesting.
Yeah, I also noticed that a lot of the time when something becomes popular, it seems like there's things popping up on a certain theme on many different places at once that seem to correlate to each other necessarily. But there's this collective movement that seems to be like maybe also on a more scientific level. Like I mean that could be called scientific as well, but most people probably wouldn't use like accept the term like Akashic records as scientific. But if you look at it from more like the science that's more
well, I mean, think about like in nature, you see that with like the ocean, right? When you see fish, the school of fish, it's kind of the same idea. Like we don't really understand how they're communicating, but they're moving in formation and they're just so close. I think it's the same thing. It's almost like weather, I think, you know, and when you see a lot of people are tapping into the same ideas it's like there's like a cloud or there's some kind of energy out there. Like I said, the weather almost, right?
Yeah,
And
like
we're
the
all
weather.
connected
Yeah.
that way. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's a perfect example. Like, and the fish as well is just this perfect example.
Right. I'm a big I don't know. I'm an enthusiast when it comes to these concepts. It's funny, like I want to say one of our like second or third episodes, I went on a rant and then I was like, well, no one's really following what I'm saying. Never mind, you know? Started talking about the Akashic record. Yeah.
They're good analogies, though. They
Cool.
make you think.
Right. I
Yeah,
mean, you see it a lot of different examples in different animals and in different organisms that are able to just, I don't know, like just have this connection, and they're both just tapping into a frequency, because ultimately music is frequencies, right? And that's, I think, why we get so passionate about it. That's why we connect with it so deeply.
yeah, and we are like it's so easy to think that we are like stagnant like this, but we're like every little part of me
The
is
cell,
moving.
every particle, right.
And so it's like music is just this vibrations. It's like, it's so funny that you're like nice vibes and things, because it's like
Yeah,
what
because it's
we're
true.
doing.
It's literally true. Yeah.
It's like if did you know if you have a piano and a guitar or something in the same room, and you press a G on the piano, then the G string on the guitar will also start to resonate.
It picks up on that because it's the same, right.
Yeah, it's
I've actually heard that it's like the frequency depends on like the pitch. If like the guitar's in tune or it's a little out, the frequency's not gonna resonate as fast or whatever, something like that.
Yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, also I was gonna say before, because I feel like I forgot the question in the beginning. You were asking me about.
Oh, I never make sense. Don't worry about that. Don't mind me.
Oh no, not you. No, it's me who's forgetful. No, no, I was, because you asked me earlier with the blue sunglasses. I'm sorry that I don't know which name is
Mr. Kerosene. That's Michael. Yeah.
You can just call me Blue Sunglasses.
Call him Blue Glasses.
Blue sunglasses guy.
That's the best name, actually. Blue. No, but yeah. Oh, okay. I got
sidetracked.
Oh, it's okay.
Sidetracked.
It's okay.
You know, I don't quite remember what I asked you. Was it? I know I asked you about the process of making your album.
Yeah, because and then I connected that to a question with this Mr. Stripe. I feel like
Mr. Stripes.
Mr. Stripes.
Oh, it's really early over there.
It's okay. Yeah, right. It's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. You're in the future. You're wondering if your music's going to be in the future. Well, we're witnessing it right now. You're in the future.
I mean, there really is no way of you knowing our names. You know what I mean? We didn't really actually introduce ourselves to you in the episode, so I'm.
Yeah, we didn't. Huh?
He's Mr. Blue Glasses.
Didn't.
I'm Mr. Stripes, and that's cool. Yeah. Mr. Poet over there, Mr. Scientist Poet.
Yeah, the scientist. There's always a scientist.
It's an archetype, right? You have to have a scientist in your group. Like
I could be the contortionist.
We just call him Donnie.
Just Donnie.
Yeah, we call him Donnie.
He does machines.
Donnie.
But yeah, so I was, because it's such a I mean, I can't imagine the first step to putting together a sound like you've put together, so I'd find it really fascinating to know kind of just how you built that up and
yeah, well, that's not just hours. Like I have these hard drives just with sounds. I record a lot of like different things in my I record a lot with different little like portable microphones, and then I use those sounds, I turn them into synthesizers, so it can be nature sounds that then becomes a synthesizer. And then I also recently I've been like really nerdy with like recording electromagnetic frequency. I bought this like Soma mic that became like out on the market, so it's easier. Before you'd have to like build your own kind of like huge annoying thing, like not annoying me, but like, you know, I would have to like get this but now you can just order this thing. It's not even expensive, and I was just been walking around this like how I was socializing when I was in Stockholm studying. I was just walking around with this machine, everyone like and it like makes all these rhythms. So I mean, there's different trails like that. I also record my voice a lot through different machines, and then I play the harp as well, which is like a lot more organic process, I guess, more typical, with chords and things, although I tend to make my music quite modal, so it's not necessarily that I'm often quite just intuitively listening more
Instinct,
than
right?
thinking
More
about
than
it.
doing theory, right?
Yeah.
I always find that interesting how like there's a couple of schools of thought, right? There's people that are very much by the book when it comes to theory, and there's people who play instinctually. I had to try to learn theory as I got older, you know, after like playing for like 20 years, because people expect me to know that because I've been playing for 20 plus years. And so, you know, I didn't want to sound ignorant. I didn't want to sound, and at the same time, you know, music's a language, so I wanted to be able to share that with people who do know how to read and write music, you know. But I'm more of an instinctual player myself, you know.
Hear
And I
you.
think there's some beautiful stuff that comes from that, and it sounds like that's kind of what you're saying with the harp, which I couldn't even imagine trying to play a harp. That's insane.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's the harp. I think it's not the. I mean, the finger coordination part is like a learning, but that's like any instrument. For me, I was playing guitar for like when I was younger. I went to music school when I was like a teenager or young teenager and stuff. And but doing that, I thought that I hated music, so it didn't. I did not like music in school form.
Right.
And also like I am instinctive, and I'm even though I should at this point know my theory, I'm very crap at getting it like into my head. But I'm also like trying to reclaim it a bit, because it also gives you perspective of your own music. And so I've been to composition school and stuff now, which is a lot more interesting, and it's really interesting. But anyways, like the harp, it's essentially is like a guitar on like piano scale, so it's it's not as hard as it may appear, because it's quite rare to come across harps.
I think for me it's just hard to like identify what's what. I mean, once you know it, right? Like I'm sure I felt that way about the guitar the first time I saw it and I started trying to play it, but you know,
the C notes are red and the F notes are blue, so you can pretty easily see where you are.
Oh.
Well, then I'm gonna have to go play a harp then, and that's it. You know, that's See, I just got a 7-string guitar, and now I'm gonna have to go get a harp to have more strings. You know?
Yeah.
Well, if you're getting a harp, then I'm getting a harp.
You should all get a harp. You become like a harp band.
All harp band.
All harp. Yeah. All harp.
Electric harp. Yeah.
I'm gonna get one of those harps that are like made out of lights. Mine's gonna be like a laser harp, where like it's not really a string; it's just like lights. So you just go ding, 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 and like
shit. That's so cool.
Mine's gonna have flames coming out of it.
Like Rammstein, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is maybe I heard there was this like VR program where you can go inside of, instead of you saving like a project in a DAW, you go inside of the DAW like a room, and then you kind of decide what you want to pick up. So you have like the synthesizers that you play, everything's like in the room, and then you just save the room. So like maybe then you could have all of those like flaming harps and
the flame harp and the laser, you know, the light instead of the strings.
Yeah. There are these cool like electric harps as well. But I was trying to buy one, but they're so expensive, or not for me at least, like very expensive.
Well, I feel like harps in general, they're probably probably
This-
more on the expensive side, right? I mean,
Right.
mm,
yeah.
yeah.
We have a question from our audience.
Yeah.
This is from Mimi. Mimi, how you doing? It's been a while since I've been able to see you. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to LA. You know, I got your your other half here with me.
Oh,
He's
hey.
mine for now. But anyways, Mimi asks, how many instruments do you play?
Me. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm I play. Oh, that's what I was gonna say before. I play guitar, but terribly so. I play piano also pretty awful. Um, and I play harp pretty well. So kind of just harp, but I produce. I've spent my time learning to produce and to understand the music and where it's going. So I'm more like a composer or producer.
Arranger. Right. Right.
Yeah, and then I also use my voice a lot. So I would say like harp voice technology is what I can play. Yeah.
Oh,
And
cool.
like sequencers and things like hardware as well.
You're like a musical forge
Yeah.
from X-Men. I'm sorry, he's an X-Man that has like a technology power. That's you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, cool. Oh my God. I'm obsessed.
He's from the future too. He's
From the future, yeah.
yeah, he is
See?
from the future.
Just like you.
Yeah.
Just like you.
We're all ex. Oh, go ahead, Zeke. Sorry.
I was just gonna say what I think is pretty cool is that you make videos where you show your voices range, your voice range with your chanting. It's almost its own instrument. You know? It's
Yeah. I used it almost
very
as an instrument.
very haunting, very beautiful. For the other videos, they're very artistic. They're very visually moody too. How do you come up with ideas for your videos?
Yeah, well, that was the other part of my creativeness, maybe that haven't talked about so much yet. But I'm a very emotional person and very dreamy kind of person. So I think it's just my way of coping with life, you know. It's like my way of it's a need for me. And that's the same like how I wrote this EP, even though like all of these things that I'm interested in ties into how I make the music. And it's almost like company, you know, like, you know, as a musician, like you're if you play guitar really well, like your guitar is kind of like a friend. And I think yeah, you have that, but then also I think it's just try to open new portals, new worlds, new understanding. I yeah, and then it's a way of processing emotions. So like when I wrote this EP, it was this huge personal journey I needed to take as well, through a heartbreak. So I have a lot of that as well, and I think those kind of things, like my feelings usually really guide me, and I think one way for me to cope with my emotions is to try and find a sonic or visual representation of them that will make them beautiful. So I make friends with them, or even make them ugly, like, you know, or I just make them like, if I can make a sonic or a visual picture of it that's a true representative of it, I feel like relief.
Satisfied, right? Like
Yeah,
satiated, right? That's cool.
yeah. So I think it's just that, really.
Well, you know, and I think really I don't even know if it's the right thing to say that the best music comes from pain. You know,
Yeah,
I think most
probably.
most music, I feel like most music comes from pain. You know, like I feel like people can't really make music unless they have something they need to say with it, or they need to take out their emotions through making music, you know.
Right.
So that's, yeah. I mean, I know with Ruben and myself, and I'm still learning a lot about Zeke, but I'm sure with Zeke too. I mean, we're all three of us are the kind of folks that like. I think the reason we do this is because we're just damaged.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know how else to put it, but it's just like there's you got to heal. You got to heal from stuff in your life, and
it's therapeutic. It's cathartic.
Yeah,
It's
and
it helps you recenter yourself, right? You feel like you can connect. There's times I've written stuff where I have like a lot of solitude or I have a lot of loneliness, and because the music's out there, I feel less of that. You know what I mean? And then as you start playing it live and you start getting energy, it all kind of comes full circle, right? And you feel very connected.
Yeah.
Well, like just imagine if Kurt Cobain was a happy guy, like.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, I think he probably would have sounded like Hanson.
Like Hanson? Yeah, like Hanson.
Bop, yeah.
Oh, like Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra.
He sounds handsome. Like it's made like his music almost like embodies handsome.
Yeah,
like a dapper gentleman, right?
His music sounds handsome.
Yeah.
Well, there's like a lot of confidence in Frank Sinatra's music.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Like I remember I was listening to so after Thanksgiving here in America, all you hear is Christmas music everywhere, right? Yeah. And so I heard his version of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And I was like, man, this guy's got like some like confidence to straight up just change the lyrics. He's like, Rudy the Red-Nosed. I'm like, wait, that's not how it goes. But he didn't care. He was Frank Sinatra. He could do that,
And you could probably hear the pain behind his singing, couldn't you, Ruben?
I could.
Frank Sinatra is having a bad day that day.
Yeah.
They're calling me like, Frank, that's not how it goes.
That's not how the lyrics go.
How it is, how it goes.
He was kind of, I don't really know much about him, but didn't he kind of like run with a tough crowd, or what wasn't his deal? Kind of like
like some mob ties.
Right. He was sort of untouchable.
Oh maybe. I realized that I don't know a lot about his life either.
About Frank?
Yeah, no, I don't know that much about Frank now that I think about it.
Yeah. Oh, I know he had a daughter, right? He had a son and a daughter. There's Frank Sinatra Jr. And then there was
Nancy
Sinatra. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Nancy Sinatra. Oh, yeah.
These boots were made for walking.
Right.
I love Nancy Sinatra. Yeah. And she did this collaboration with like Lee Hazelwood. Or something like that.
That sounds like you're making it up, Lee Hazelwood.
But I think he's called something with like Lee Hazel. Something they did is like strawberries, cherries, and it was a very pretty song.
Huh.
Well, she sang the San Jose theme song, which is where Zeke and I are from, and Michael spent a lot of time, right?
San Jose.
Do you know the way to San? Do you know the way to San Jose?
Oh,
wait, that was her?
I think so. I think it is her. I think so. I could be totally wrong, and Mondo will probably be like, "No, dude, you don't know what you're talking about." But I think that was her.
By the way,
as Mondo tends to do.
Mondo's one of our regular audience members, and he just said that the song "Mbop" is about death, and I don't think I don't know if that's true. The Hanson song, "Mbop."
Oh.
Anyways, sorry.
If that's true, man, that's my favorite song now. If that's true.
Well, people don't know this, but Hanson's been going strong this whole time, ever since the late '90s. Hanson's been just like
they're called Nickelback now, right?
No.
Yeah, maybe. But the early 2000s, I feel like, was the time when handsomeness took the biggest fall. Do you remember how?
I think it's the hyphy movement that stopped Hanson for a little bit.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I think so.
But it's also interesting. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. I wanted to ask about the COVID and how is that
Oh,
how is that like in Sweden? Is there
mhm. Oh God.
I yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's
Um,
all dramatic. Took a dramatic turn.
no, no, no,
We
no.
just need to
It's
go
not
bleak. It's
dramatic.
okay.
I
We need to
mean,
go a little bleak.
it's just that I may have controversial thoughts about it.
Uh,
It's
But
okay.
That's all right. We're cool.
Yeah,
We could do
yeah,
that. It's fine. No one's
yeah,
gonna trip here.
because for
yeah,
us, you know, it limited our musical practices.
Yeah.
Put a hinder on us playing live shows also.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I just want to know how it affected you being
Yeah,
a
I mean,
musician,
it's
how it
affected.
affected.
Yeah, it's affected less here because Sweden took the approach that I don't know if you heard um, about Sweden's approach to COVID. But we didn't we haven't had a lockdown.
Mhm.
And and it's been a lot of different people thinking about that in different ways across the world.
Mhm.
Um, um, I yeah, we just got new restrictions yesterday.
Oh wow.
Before this has been pretty open. Like after, like when the summer came, our numbers went down. And Swedish theory is essentially that like we don't have a lockdown, but we limit social contact
Right.
and ask people to please act responsibly around COVID, and
Yeah.
then they'll have fewer cases for the hospitals so that they won't peak over the capacity of taking care of it. So it will be like it will exist, but it will be over a longer scale, and then we try to protect our elders from it, and that's been the Swedish strategy, which is quite smart.
It's good.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
considering it looks like we're gonna live with it for like a long time.
Ah.
But yeah, now we got the second wave COVID, and yeah, but there's been a lot of upset culture workers, and there was this big lists that people were signing for the government because people were upset, like because you were able to travel and go places where there's like hundreds of people, like the boat to Gotland, for example. It takes still, I think, at least 400 people, and you can go on the trams, but you can't be in the concert because you can't be over like 50 people. And then and there were a lot of people working with music was upset because it's, you know, it would like why culture gets has so little priority when it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense with like the other restrictions and things. So people have been pissed about that, but now they put more restrictions because it came back.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the whole like COVID, obviously it's terrible misfortune for us in many ways with all of the people who are suffering with COVID. But I'm also trying to stay very aware of what the governments are doing other than COVID now, and
Mhm.
what laws are maybe passed when people are so busy with COVID. And
As like a distraction, maybe you're
Yeah.
thinking.
I'm thinking that it, like maybe it's kind of like what Donald Trump said in an interview a long time ago, like when there is a low economy, I will get my way. And it's often like that in the world history. Like when something happens, there's more room for whoever is the shark to come.
Yeah, they say fortunes are made when things like this are happening, right? Like
Yeah.
And
like
keeping us with fear and distance, we're not so
aware, right? Yeah.
we're not so aware, and we're not so powerful when we're at fear and when we're alone. And then there's all these like um things happening. And I was noticing also the other day on the Swedish television, and there was this news when they were like, oh, we're solving old murder cases because Sweden is small, so the murder cases, if there is a big one, they can get famous pretty easily, like there was this murder here, because there aren't in general that much happening in Sweden. So they had this like murder that was from 10 years ago, terrible. Like someone just stabbed a woman and a child, like for no
Oh,
reason, and that they died. It was terrible. And then now they were like, well, we got this new DNA. We got this. We got this new DNA. So with the new technologies, we've been able to see who has what potential portal of DNA this could come from, and lead it to the right person. So they were like, okay, it could be, is this family line, because there was some DNA, but that wasn't in the police register. So they were like, it could be on a DNA level, it could be this family, it's a male, it's this and this, and now, like all of these different conclusions they could make to take it to like one or the other person. And they checked up those two people, and one of them admitted.
wow.
So yeah, and how they got those DNAs from everyone's doing those research now, that they're sending in their DNA.
23andMe.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So I feel like there's this really weird movement about the world where there's also a lot of governmental control that's maybe enforced, kind of gaslighting, that we don't really know exactly what we're signing up for. So, and I don't know either. It's not like, I don't want to be like the kind of conspiracy theorists that are just like, but I'm just like, I'm trying to keep aware. That I just
That's
don't
good.
know what's happening now. Yeah.
Yeah. And, it's interesting what you're saying, because, in a lot of ways nowadays, compared to, let's say 20 years ago, I feel like a lot of people, we sort of relinquish a lot of personal information about ourselves. You know what I mean? We kind of just give a bunch of personal information about ourselves and put it up in these places where, people can monitor us, right? Whether it be Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And I always think to myself, like, man, what if someone with nefarious
intentions, right?
Just has all this information about me. They know where I live, they know what I do. They know where I was yesterday. They know where I'm going to go tomorrow. They know that it's
it's interesting because, I think I was telling you about that documentary where there's like all these patterns that like our lives aren't as random as we think. Like we're totally predictable because of that. And they're tracing it with data. You know what I mean? It's just so crazy how that's just so a part of like society now, right?
It is. It's a strange time. Interesting.
It is, yeah.
Let's see.
I know I'm not down with like 23andMe. Just I wanted to do that, and then initially I thought, well, my conclusions are probably just going to be like, your family's from Mexico, like that's it. End the story. Like they're not going to trace anything else. But then I was like, well, but then these people like now own your genetic information. And, I don't know. It's just, I don't feel great about that. I think naturally everybody, this is a market where it's tapping into people's curiosity, because we have this need, this want to connect to our past, to know the relics of where we came from and who we,
even that. Maybe that.
But I feel like that's a little exploitative, right? Like exploitative, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel super great about that.
My dad did 23andMe, so he already sold me out to the mob.
Oh no!
Right.
Thanks, Dad. We have we have someone in the audience asking what I'm drinking. It's UCC coffee.
Oh.
You know what? I thought you were drinking like Yoo-hoo or something, dude.
No, this is UCC coffee. It's very, very good, very amazing.
Is it strong?
I guess so. It's not like sugary.
It looks like a tomato, like a Campbell's tomato soup. That's what I thought you were drinking too.
Yeah, just cold. I'm just drinking cold tomato soup. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize. Although
we're all getting esoteric about like life, and you're like, I'm drinking coffee.
But just jumping on what you're saying, it's sort of like when COVID started, I felt like a lot of people thought that, this is going to last a couple of weeks, or it's going to last a couple of months, and then everything will be back to normal, right?
Right.
I kind of feel like the world's never going to be the same. There are some things that just kind of have just changed.
And that's the art of letting go, bud. You know,
Yeah,
that's
and,
totally.
but also maybe that is for the
Yeah,
better,
it sucks.
because there are some things that we just have to change now,
Right.
if we want
Right.
to work to even be here.
Absolutely. I think this has given a lot of people time to become introspective and to really become sensitive with what's going on with the bullshit that we do all the time. You know, like there's just so many toxic behaviors that the idea of succeeding does to you. You know what I mean? The idea of that monetary gain and all that. And it's just, I feel like people are breaking away from that a little bit. I think so. I don't know.
I think so too. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And people are like waking up to what they wanted to do with their life when they get this time kind of off and be like, and this reason to kind of reflect. So I feel like many people that I know have been like going through kind of like an inner crisis and then come out the other side and be like, I want to do this, and like this is what I'm gonna do now. And like there's been this like like you said,
it's a renaissance, right? It's like our generation's renaissance right now. It's like almost forced though, but
right. It's so cool.
I know when it first started, I would stay up till like 4 or 5 in the morning, just go play music in the garage, you know, and like every day, and then I'd wake up and play with my daughter like some of the day, and then, you know, I didn't have, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird when you break away from like a damn soul crushing routine that you just do every single day. You know what I mean? You realize that there's just so much more to appreciate. And, you know, I think it sucks for you, Mike, because you haven't had a chance to really do that, you know?
Oh yeah, I haven't had a break from work. In fact, it just got twice as hard to do what I have to do, just because it's from home.
You do it from home, and you can always do it, and you have no hours anymore, right? You know.
But you know, I mean, like there's a couple things I'm grateful for. You know, I mean, like for one, I was able to save a ton of money, which is nice. But you know, we adopted a dog, which was something that I've always wanted. Like for like 11 years, I've wanted to adopt a dog, but you know, every work situation kind of doesn't really, you know, allow you to get a dog and then train a dog and then all this and that. So that's been fun. You know, and then just, I don't know, just like different things. I mean, making music and
hanging with the friends, right?
You know, we started this show once COVID started. And I mean, with this show, we talk to people from all around the world. You know, it's like a really awesome treat to talk to you, someone that I don't feel like we would have had a chance to do this with. You know, if it was if we were out on the road doing gigs, and you know, we wouldn't be doing this show probably. So that's been good.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm also like so it's so cool and intriguing to be here, like connecting with you. And I get so curious now about how it is in LA, and like as a band, if you were touring before, if you're like used to doing things touring, and how's it over there? I
mean, LA has it pretty bad right now. The LA economy has there's a lot of people leaving LA right now because they've just been out of work for 8 months or something. But it's interesting. I mean, there's about half the people that kind of they wear the masks and they try to social distance, and then there's the other half that kind of just sort of pretend like that there's not a COVID, and those two cultures clash all the time.
I see here.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, LA is LA. There's certain things we've done to kind of adapt to it. I mean, there's a lot of like outside seating now, which is just kind of nice for everybody. The film industry is just dead. I don't even know when movies are going to come back. But animation is thriving, maybe too much. So yeah, we're slowly kind of getting back into a rhythm. I mean, the band has kind of had to get back into a rhythm too, you know, just however many months we had away. Like we had one show with Zeke, and then we're like, yeah, Zeke's in the band now. We're back.
Yeah.
We're doing shows. And then literally the next week, every venue in
Everything shut down.
California. Yeah, every venue in California shut down. And then that
We had plans to travel to other countries and do all these things, and you know, it's just you have to adapt. And I'm actually glad that we had to adapt, because I feel like we're able to we were able to discover like our identity, like who we were. We were able to connect more. I feel like we speak more now too, you know?
Oh, wow.
yeah. And this might be kind of a controversial thing to say, but I think there would have been problems that we would have had later on
Yeah, I agree.
that we had to face sooner.
Bro.
Oh.
Right.
You know, obviously I won't get into details, but it, you know, that, yeah, I mean, during COVID, we just kind of had to reestablish ourselves and, you know, it's been cool, you know, I mean, the three of us really like, we're good buds, and we've had a good time just being able to write music and again, do this show, talk to interesting people like yourself. You know, we've made new friends. Yeah, we've made a lot of new friends, so that's been
Yeah,
good.
we have.
Wow.
So we do have another question from the audience for our guest over here.
Sorry.
What other platforms are you using to promote your new EP?
Oh, okay. So I was asking my fans where they want the music, and a lot of them are like a bit experimental and they like Bandcamp. But other than that, it's kind of available on everything from Apple Music to well, pretty much all platforms like Spotify.
I think
I
these
have a
guys know what I'm
website
going to
as well.
ask you. I'm positive they know what I'm going to ask you.
What do you
Oh.
got?
Are you on Deezer?
I'm probably on Deezer if it was included in the CDs baby
Right.
distribution service, which I assume it is.
I think everybody's on Deezer. I always want to ask, are you on Deezer?
These
I don't
are
even know
That's my
about it.
t-shirt. If I made a t-shirt that was like with my face on it, it would say, are you on Deezer?
Oh,
I'd wear that
I haven't
t-shirt.
heard- is it American Deezer? Because I haven't ever heard of it.
I
I've
kind of
never,
don't.
I don't know what it is.
I think it might just be a domestic platform for the U.S. I
Maybe.
don't know. Isn't it made by some famous musician here or something? Isn't Deezer backed by like some?
You know, I'm gonna Google that right now, actually.
Okay.
I don't know. I always ask,
Deezer.
like, we've had international guests, and I always ask, are you on Deezer? All the time, you know?
Mm,
I'm gonna feel silly if that's the
getting
case.
curious if I am on Deezer. Maybe I can just look real quick. Wait.
Perhaps.
Deezer.com.
We should like start getting sponsorship from Deezer, man, because I talk about them a lot.
You can do-
Oh, I have to.
Oh, they're in 180 countries, 180 plus countries as Deezer. So you are
Maybe it's all like the bad countries though, you know?
I know.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a French online music streaming service.
Oh, okay.
But I was thinking about what you said before, Frank Sinatra, about music being like good music being linked to pain and all of this. And I think maybe that's living too, like what makes you more like in contact with, like what makes you more in contact makes you beautiful in a way, and like what makes beautiful music is often like a strong contact, and that's pain. Like pain is this kind of way that our body kind of speaks to us as well, like physical
Right.
pain, and emotional pain is like that too. It's like a, so really I think it's if you can become friends with pain, it's just messages which gives you the ability to live a more beautiful life. So maybe this, I see a great purpose to pain and a lot of reasons to not be afraid of it.
Yeah, that is a very beautiful statement. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
So
It's very like self-aware. That's awesome. Yeah.
yeah. Well, with that said, unfortunately, I'm the time cop of the show. We have run out of time. We're pushing 9:30, so I just want to say thank you again for being on the show. It has been such a pleasure talking to you. You have amazing music that I think everybody out there that's watching our show should go out and listen to immediately. If you want to take this next, 30 seconds, minute, however long you want, to just go ahead and tell the audience directly where they can find your music just one more time, and kind of what they have to look forward to, if you have future projects, future shows, future broadcasts, that sort of thing coming up.
Yeah. Well, first of all, just thank you so much for having me. It's really my pleasure. So much fun, and yeah, you guys are really cool. You can find me on Spotify, iTunes, Bandcamp, all of it at Desideria. On Instagram, I'm Desideria Sonic Dreams with underscores between Desideria _Sonic _Dreams. I'll be releasing a lot of videos soon to go with WASP 76B, which is going to be quite like an epic journey through this transformative journey I had to take because of a lot of things happening in my life and a certain heartbreak and healing. So this EP, I think, can take you through healing if you are looking for something to change the place you are, because that's the reason I created it. It was to create that for me. So I think if you're in a need of healing, you can go into it and you can let it work with you. It's and you can find everything, all of the links on my website, desideriadreams.com.
Cool.
Thank you for listening.
I had a quick question real fast as we're wrapping up.
Yeah.
Is there a significance to 76B? I noticed that right away, and that just stuck with me all day. I was just like, 76B, 76B. It was just so...
Well, in WASP 76B is an ectoplanet that's in the constellation of Pisces.
I'm a Pisces. Cool. There you go.
Cool. I'm a Pisces moon and ascendant. Of course. You're giving me Pisces vibes.
Right.
Okay, but so I think it's the perfect symbol of Pisces as well, because it's like there's this this ectoplanet is so close to the sun, and it's this one side of it that's always close to the sun, which is a very, very, very high temperature. If I'm not remembering wrong, I think it's something like 3,000 something Celsius. I don't know.
We'll do Fahrenheit. We're dumb Americans. Sorry.
Oh, so I'm a dumb European. And then on the other side, it's about like a third of as hot, but it's like incredibly hot. Like, so to give you the perspective, like it's so hot that it's made out of metal, and the metal melts and evaporates into like a liquid metal that goes up, and then it comes on the other side of the dark night of the planet, which is always dark, and then it rains down like a liquid.
Liquid rain.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the perfect symbol for.
Right, for the Pisces, right, with the two fish, right? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, the two fish, and also on this journey, like of kind of transformation, rinsing all of these things out of you, and like meeting,
cleansing, right.
Yeah, cleansing is both like meeting emotions, but then also like it kind of is this other music that kind of pushes you through certain processes, I think. So yeah, that's it. I think it's perfect symbol of Pisces, but also perfect symbol of this EP.
That's so cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for elaborating on that. Sorry for
Sure. Thanks for
Mr.
asking.
Time. Sorry, Mr. Time Cop. You know, I know we totally. I don't know.
I'm the time cop.
That's yours.
I
That's
ruin
your
every.
Matrix name. Blue
All
time.
right. Well, thank you again for joining us. And thanks to our audience for joining us. We're always very, very thankful for our guests and for our audience. This has been Hanging with Friends every Thursday, 8:30 to 9:30. I totally ran out of time to show who our sponsor was for this episode, but I'll do that next episode. But yeah, catch us next time on Hanging with Friends next Thursday. 8:30 to 9:30. I want to make sure it wasn't Thanksgiving. Anyways, bye everybody.
See you guys.
Bye.
Toodaloo.